Let me share with you exactly what happens during these 3 days of transformed self-talk. The first day is often the most challenging, for you are going against every evidence of your senses. Your physical reality will still show you the old conditions, and your habitual self-talk will attempt to reassert itself. This is where most people fail. They allow what they see to dictate what they say to themselves. But I tell you this, your current circumstances are nothing more than your previous self-talk made visible. In the book of Hebrews it is written, "Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear." Your self-talk is this very word of God that frames your world. Let me share with you the experience of a man who came to me seeking to transform his professional life. He had been stuck in a low-pay position for years, and his self-talk reflected this: "I'm not qualified enough. Better opportunities are for others. I'm not qualified enough to be qualified enough." I instructed him in this 3-day technique of self-talk. For the first day, he was to speak to himself in a very specific way, not just arbitrary positive statements, but precise words that implied his desire was already fulfilled. When he looked in the mirror while dressing for work, instead of his habitual self-talk about another dreary day, he would say, "I love being executive vice president. My decisions create tremendous value for the company. My leadership inspires others." Throughout that first day, whenever his mind wandered to his current circumstances, he would gently bring it back by speaking to himself from the end. "I'm so grateful for my executive position. I handle these responsibilities with such ease. My contributions are highly valued and generously rewarded." The second day brings a subtle shift. Your new self-talk begins to feel more natural, less forced. This is a crucial point where many lose their way, thinking the technique isn't working because it's becoming effortless. But this very naturalness is the signal that your new self-talk is taking root in consciousness. During the second day, your self-talk should focus not just on statements of fact, but on the natural conversations you would have with yourself from your desired state. If you're manifesting perfect health, you don't need to constantly affirm, "I am healthy." Instead, your self-talk might be, "I love how easily I climb these stairs. This fresh energy feels wonderful. I enjoy choosing nutritious foods for my vibrant body." I recall a woman who was manifesting her ideal marriage. During her second date, she didn't just affirm, "I am happily married." Her self-talk became the natural internal dialogue of a beloved wife. "I love preparing our favorite dinner. Our evening walks together are so completely. It's wonderful sharing my life with someone who understands me so completely." The third day is where the magic truly unfolds, but it's also where many stumble because they are looking for external results. Remember, in the book of Genesis, God did not pause after each day of creation to check if it was working. The work was done in consciousness through the Word, and the manifestation followed naturally. On this third day, your self-talk must be maintained with complete indifference to external circumstances. If you're manifesting financial abundance, and you check your bank account to find it unchanged, your self-talk must remain steady. "I love how money flows to me from expected and unexpected sources. I enjoy choosing the finest things in life. It's wonderful having more than enough to share generously." Let me reveal to you something profound about these 3 days. They correspond to 3 states of consciousness: initiation, transition, and acceptance. Your self-talk must reflect and support each state. The first day initiates the new concept. The second day bridges the new state as something. A businessman once has asked me why his previous attempts at positive self-talk had failed. Upon examination, I discovered he was changing his words, but not his state of consciousness. He would say, "I am successful," while internally arguing with the statement. I taught him that true self-talk isn't about the words alone. It's about speaking from the consciousness of already being what you desire to be. Now, let me share with you the exact structure of self-talk that creates the most rapid transformation during these 3 days. Many attempt to change their lives through haphazard positive statements, but there is a specific pattern, a divine order to effective self-talk that most never discover. This pattern is revealed in Scripture where it states, "Let there be, and there was, and God saw that it was good." This is your template for powerful self-talk during these 3 days. First, you declare what is to be. Then you acknowledge it as already existing. Finally, you express gratitude for its perfection. I want to give you a living example. A young doctor came to me frustrated with his practice. His self-talk was filled with anxiety about patients, concerns about income, and doubts about his abilities. For 3 days, I instructed him to transform his self-talk following this divine pattern. Upon waking the first morning, his self-talk began. "My practice is thriving. Patients seek me out for my exceptional care. I am known for my remarkable results." Throughout the day, whenever his old patterns of anxious self-talk attempted to surface, he would immediately shift to, "I love how smoothly my practice runs. Every patient interaction is satisfying and successful. My expertise brings healing to all who come to me." But here's the crucial point about your self-talk during these 3 days. It must be specific to your own desires and natural to your own way of speaking. Don't copy another's words. Your self-talk must feel like you, must flow naturally from your own consciousness, must be in your own voice. In the Psalms, it is written, "Deep calleth unto deep." Your self-talk must come from the depths of your being, not from the surface of your mind. When you speak to yourself during these 3 days, let the words rise from the consciousness of already being what you desire to be. Consider a teacher who came to me desiring to become a successful author. Her self-talk had been filled with doubt. "Who would read my book? I'm not a real writer. I'll never finish this manuscript." I showed her how to structure her self-talk for the 3-day transformation. Instead of general affirmations about being a successful author, her self-talk became specific and natural. "I love how readers connect with my stories. It's wonderful seeing my books in major bookstores. I enjoy signing copies for my devoted readers." These weren't just positive statements. They were the natural thoughts and words of someone already living her desired reality. Here's another vital aspect of the 3-day transformation that few understand. Your self-talk must encompass all 3 time frames, morning, day, and night, but in a specific way. Your morning self-talk sets the tone for the day and must be done before engaging with the world. Your daytime self-talk maintains the state. Your nighttime self-talk maintains the subconscious mind for manifestation. Let me share with you the exact method for nighttime self-talk that produces the most powerful results. As you prepare for sleep, your self-talk should take the form of grateful reflection. "What a wonderful day in my thriving practice. I love how easily everything flows. Tomorrow brings even more opportunities to serve and succeed." This nighttime pattern of self-talk is crucial because it's your last conscious impression before entering the sleep state. In Scripture, it says, "In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men, and sealeth their instruction." Your nighttime self-talk is this very instruction being sealed in consciousness. A businessman who mastered this technique shared with me his experience. For 3 days, he maintained the most rigorous attention to his self-talk, especially during the drowsy state before sleep. His inner dialogue was consistently from the state of already being a successful entrepreneur. "My business generates tremendous value. I love leading my team to greater achievements. Every decision I make creates positive results." By the 3rd morning, before any physical evidence appeared, he knew with absolute certainty that his world had shifted. His self-talk had transformed from effort to natural expression of his new state. When opportunities suddenly appeared that transformed his business, he recognized them as the inevitable manifestation of his 3 days of transformed self-talk. But here's something crucial about the 3-day transformation that most miss. You must maintain your new self-talk even when circumstances seem to contradict it. In fact, contrary circumstances often appear during these 3 days as a test of your resolve. This is where most people falter, allowing external evidence to destruct their self-talk. Your self-talk must not only change in content, but in consciousness. The words themselves are merely the surface. It's the state from which they emanate that holds the true creative power. In the book of Matthew, it states, "Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh." Your self-talk during these 3 days must flow from the heart, the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. This is why mechanical repetition of positive phrases fails to produce results. The words must be spoken from the consciousness of already being what you desire to be. I knew a woman who struggled with this principle until she grasped its essence. She desired to be a successful artist, but had never sold a painting. Her initial attempt at self-talk was mechanical. I am a successful artist. My paintings sell easily. But there was no transformation because she was speaking from her current state of lack. I taught her to first assume the consciousness of a successful artist, then let her self-talk flow naturally from that state. Her internal dialogue transformed. I love how collectors respond to my work. It's wonderful having my paintings in prestigious galleries. I enjoy deciding which exhibitions to participate in next. During these 3 days, your self-talk must reflect 3 levels of consciousness: being, having, and experiencing. Most people focus only on having, which is why their manifestations are temporary or never appear. Your self-talk must encompass all 3. Let me illustrate this principle. A man came to me desiring financial abundance. His self-talk had been focused entirely on having money. I have unlimited wealth. I showed him how to structure his self-talk to include all 3 levels. Being, I am financially wise. I am a masterful creator of wealth. Having, I have abundant resources. I have multiple streams of income. Experiencing, I love choosing the finest experiences in life. I enjoy sharing my abundance generously. This 3-level self-talk must be maintained consistently throughout the 3 days. Upon waking, your first thoughts should naturally flow from this expanded consciousness. Throughout the day, your internal dialogue should reflect all 3 levels. Before sleep, your final thought should encompass this complete state. Here's another crucial aspect of the 3-day transformation. Your self-talk must be in harmony with the law of assumption. In Scripture, it states, "All things whatsoever ye pray and ask for, believe that ye have received them, and ye shall have them." Your self-talk must come from the consciousness of already having received. Consider a man who wanted to transform his relationships. His habitual self-talk had been, "I'm always alone. Nobody understands me. I'll never find true love." For 3 days, I instructed him to speak from the consciousness of already being in perfect relationships. I love how easily I connect with others. Every interaction enriches my life. My relationships are deep and meaningful. I attract exactly the right people into my life. My presence brings joy to others. I am surrounded by love and understanding. But here's the vital point. These words weren't chosen randomly. They flowed naturally from his assumed state of being someone who enjoys wonderful relationships. This is why your self-talk during these 3 days cannot be scripted by another. It must be the natural expression of your assumed state. Let me share with you the exact pattern of self-talk for each of the 3 days. The first day, your self-talk establishes the new state. I am now the person I desire to be. The second day, your self-talk normalizes the state. This is my natural way of being. The third day, your self-talk expresses gratitude for the state. How wonderful to be living this reality. A woman who applied this pattern to transform her health shared her experience with me. The first day's self-talk established her new state. I am radiantly healthy. Every cell in my body vibrates with vitality. Perfect health is my natural state. The second day normalized this state. I love how easily I maintain perfect balance and feel exhausted. I refuse. I feel grateful to God. I feel grateful to God. My body knows exactly how to maintain perfect balance. I feel grateful to God. I feel my state. She transformed her body ever since then. I doubtful myself as a professional. But on the third day, her self-talk expressed gratitude for her state. I'm so grateful for my perfect health. It's wonderful having this abundant energy. I appreciate how my body maintains perfect wellness effortlessly. By the end of the third day, she no longer needed to monitor her self-talk. It flowed naturally from her new state of consciousness. Now let me reveal to you the culminating secret of this 3-day transformation through self-talk. The completion of these 3 days is not marked by external changes, but by an internal shift so profound that you no longer need to monitor your self-talk because it naturally flows from your new state of consciousness. In Ecclesiastes, it is written, to everything there is a season and a time, to every purpose under heaven. These 3 days represent the season of transformation, but they must be followed by something most people neglect, the Sabbath of rest. After 3 days of conscious self-talk, you must rest in the conviction that the work is done. A remarkable example of this principle was demonstrated by a man who had struggled with poverty consciousness for decades. For 3 days, he maintained the most exquisite attention to his self-talk. Every word that passed through his mind reflected the consciousness of wealth. I am the embodiment of abundance. I live in the endless stream of prosperity. By the end of the third day, something profound had shifted. He no longer needed to remind himself to speak from wealth consciousness. It had become his natural state. His self-talk flowed effortlessly from this new consciousness. Which of my investments shall I explore today? How can I best utilize these abundant resources? What wonderful opportunities shall I explore next? This is the true test of successful transformation, when your self-talk no longer requires effort or monitoring, because it naturally reflects your new state of consciousness. Just as you don't need to remind yourself to speak as who you are now, your new self-talk becomes the natural expression of who you have become. Let me share with you the final key to maintaining this transformation beyond the 3 days. Your self-talk must now become what I call your natural assumption. When you pick up a telephone, you naturally assume it will work. When you sit in a chair, you naturally assume it will hold you. Your new state must be maintained with this same natural assumption. Consider carefully what I tell you now. After these 3 days, if you find yourself slipping back into old patterns of self-talk, do not fight them. Instead, gently remind yourself that was the old man speaking. I have crossed the bridge to my new state. Then resume your natural self-talk from your desired state. Remember the words in Scripture, put off the old man with his deeds and put on the new man. Your transformed self-talk is the language of this new man. It is not something you do. It is something you become. The 3 days are merely the gestation period for this new birth. Let me conclude with this vital truth. Your self-talk is not just words. It is the very substance of your world taking form. Every word you speak to yourself is a seed planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. These 3 days of transformed self-talk are your concentrated period of planting, but the harvest will continue indefinitely if you maintain the state. The power to transform your entire life lies in your self-talk, but not in the superficial way most people understand. It is not about forcing positive thoughts or fighting negative ones. It is about speaking from the consciousness of already being who you desire to be. 3 days of consistent, conscious self-talk from this new state will transform your world. I leave you with this challenge. Begin your 3 days now, not tomorrow, not when circumstances are better, but now speak to yourself from the consciousness of your wish fulfilled. Maintain this new self-talk for 3 consecutive days. Watch as your world transforms to match your words. For it is written, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Your self-talk is this very power. Use it wisely, use it consistently, and use it now. The next 3 days can transform your entire life if you will but speak to yourself from the consciousness of already being who you desire to be. The choice is yours and the time is now. Your 3 days of transformation await. Begin this very moment to speak to yourself as the person you desire to be, and watch as your world reshapes itself to match your words. For this is the law, and this is the promise, and this is the power that has been given to you. Use it, prove it, and live it. The word is in your mouth and in your heart, ready to be spoken. Speak it now. Speak it with conviction, and speak it from the consciousness of fulfillment. Your 3-day journey to transformation begins with the very next words you speak to yourself. Make them count, make them powerful, and make them the truth you desire to experience. My friends, I stand before you today to share a profound truth, a truth that has the power to transform your entire reality, to prepare you into a life of boundless possibility and unshackable inner control. It's the truth of self-mastery, of harnessing the limitless creative power that resides within each and every one of you. You see, the world around us is not some fixed, predetermined reality that we are powerless to change. No, my friends, it is a malleable, ever-shifting canvas upon which we are the artists, the architects of our own destinies. And the key to unlocking this transformative power lies in your ability to control yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, your very state of being. For too long, we have been conditioned to believe that we are at the mercy of external circumstances, that we are mere pawns in a game we cannot hope to influence. But I say to you, that is a lie, a grand illusion perpetuated by a world that seeks to keep us small, disempowered, and disconnected from the true nature of our being. You see, my friends, you are not merely physical beings bound by the constraints of time and space. No, you are so much more. You are divine, creative agents endowed with the power to shape your reality through the sheer force of your own consciousness. And it is through the mastery of self-control that you unlock the keys to this transformative power. When you learn to control your thoughts, to consciously direct the focus of your mind, you begin to understand the profound impact that your inner world has on the outer world. For your thoughts are not mere ephemeral impulses, but the very building blocks of your reality. They are the seeds from which your experiences, your circumstances, and your very life itself spring forth. And when you learn to control your emotions, to cultivate the feelings and states of being that serve your highest good, you tap into a wellspring of energy, motivation, and inspiration that can propel you forward in ways you never thought possible. For your emotions are not just feeding reactions, but the very lifeblood of your existence, the fuel that powers the engines of your manifestation. Finally, when you learn to control your actions, to make purposeful, intentional choices that align with the vision you have for your life, you become the master architect of your own reality. No longer are you a passive observer, tossed about by the whims of circumstance, but an active creator shaping the very fabric of your existence with each and every step you take. You see, my friends, the power to transform your life, to create the kind of reality you've only ever dared to dream of, lies not in some external force or circumstance, but in the depths of your own being. It is the power of your own consciousness, your own imagination, your own divine creative spark that holds the keys to unlocking the life of your wildest dreams. And when you harness that power, when you take control of yourself in this profound and transformative way, the possibilities are truly limitless. For you become the change maker, The visionary, the alchemist who can transmute the lead of your current reality into the pure gold of your deepest, most authentic desires. But I know what you might be thinking. My friends, Wayne, it all sounds so simple, but how on earth am I supposed to control my thoughts, my emotions, my very actions when the world around me is in such a state of chaos and uncertainty? And I hear you, I truly do. We live in a world that is constantly vying for our attention, bombarding us with stimuli and external influences that can make it feel like we're just along for the ride, powerless to shape the course of our lives. But I say to you, that is all an illusion. It is the narrative that has been fed to us, the story that has been handed down to us by a society that seeks to keep us dependent, controlled, and disconnected from our own divine nature. But my friends, the truth is, you have the power to break free from those limitations, to shatter those illusions, and to reclaim your rightful place as the master of your own destiny. And the key to doing so lies in your ability to control yourself, to consciously direct the focus of your mind, your heart, and your actions in alignment with the vision you hold for your life. Now, I know it's not going to be easy. I know that it's going to require a level of commitment, dedication, and perseverance that can feel daunting, even overwhelming at times. But let me tell you, the rewards that come with that kind of self-mastery are beyond anything you can imagine. Because when you learn to control your thoughts, to consciously direct the focus of your attention and align it with the reality you wish to create, you unlock the power to shape your beliefs, your perceptions, and your entire experience of life. You become the alchemist of your own inner world, transmuting the lead of your fears and doubts into the pure gold of unshakable faith and self-belief. And when you learn to control your emotions, to consciously cultivate the feelings and states of being that empower you and uplift you, you tap into a wellspring of creative energy, motivation, and inspiration that can propel you forward in ways you never thought possible. You become the master of your own inner landscape, no longer at the mercy of the whims of your own heart and mind. Finally, when you learn to control your actions, to make purposeful, intentional choices that align with the vision you have for your life, you become the architect of your own reality. You stop being a passive observer, a victim of circumstance, and start becoming the active creator of the life you want to live. You see, my friends, the truth is the power to transform your life. To create the kind of reality you've only ever dared to dream of doesn't lie in some external force or circumstance. It lies in your own ability to harness the incredible power of your own consciousness, your own imagination, your own divine creative spark. And when you do that, when you take control of yourself in this profound and transformative way, the possibilities are truly endless. You become the visionary, the trailblazer, the change maker, who has the power to shape the world around you in ways that ripple out and touch the lives of countless others. Because let me tell you, the world is hungry for this kind of leadership, this kind of self-mastery in a time of great uncertainty, upheaval, and change. The people who are able to maintain their focus, their composure, and their sense of purpose. The individuals who have cultivated the ability to control themselves in the face of adversity are the ones who are going to rise to the top and make the biggest impact. They are the ones who are going to inspire others to follow in their footsteps, to tap into their own inner reserves of strength and resilience, to take control of their lives and create the kind of future that they've only ever dared to dream of. And my friends, that is the kind of person that I believe each and every one of you has the potential to become. Because the truth is, the power to control yourself, to master the inner workings of your mind, your heart, and your very being is not some exclusive privilege. It is a birthright, a latent potential that lies dormant within each and every one of us, just waiting to be awakened and unleashed. But in order to do that, In order to access that incredible transformative force, you have to be willing to step up, to take responsibility, and to commit to the daily practice of self-control and self-mastery. You have to be willing to do the hard work, to face your fears, to confront the limiting beliefs and self-doubts that have been holding you back, and to emerge on the other side as the true master of your own destiny. And let me tell you, my friends, the rewards that come with that kind of self-mastery are beyond anything you can imagine. Because when you take control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, you don't just transform your own life, you transform the lives of everyone around you. You become the beacon of inspiration, the catalyst for change, the living, breathing embodiment of what's possible when we dare to break free from the shackles of our own conditioning and step into the fullness of our potential. And in doing so, you not only change your own reality, you change the very fabric of the world around you. Because let's be honest, my friends, the world needs more of this kind of leadership, this kind of self-control and self-mastery in a time of so much uncertainty and upheaval. The people who are able to do that, and the people who are able to rise above the chaos, to maintain their focus and their sense of purpose, are the ones who are going to make the biggest impact. They are the ones who are going to inspire others to follow in their footsteps, to tap into their own inner reserves of strength and resilience, and to take control of their lives in a way that transforms not just their own reality, but the reality of the world around them. And my friend, that is the kind of person that I believe each and every one of you has the potential to become. Because when you take control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, you don't just transform your own life, you transform the lives of everyone around you. You see, the truth is we are all interconnected, all part of the grand tapestry of life. And when you step up and take control of your own reality, when you become the master of your own inner landscape, the ripple effects of that transformation can be felt far and wide. Suddenly, you become a beacon of inspiration, a living, breathing example of what's possible when we dare to break free from the limitations of our own conditioning and step into the fullness of our divine potential. And as others witness your journey, as they see the incredible power and clarity that comes from self-mastery, they can't help but be inspired to follow in your footsteps. It's a domino effect, my friends, a chain reaction of transformation that has the power to reshape entire communities, entire societies, even the very fabric of our global civilization. Because when we empower ourselves, when we take control of our own thoughts, emotions, and actions, we don't just change our own lives, we change the lives of everyone we touch. And make no mistake, the world is desperate for this kind of leadership, this kind of self-control and self-mastery. In a time of so much uncertainty, upheaval, and change, the people who are able to rise above the chaos, to maintain their focus and their sense of purpose, are the ones who are going to make the biggest difference. They're the visionaries, the trailblazers, the change makers who have the power to inspire others, to mobilize communities, and to create the kind of positive, lasting transformation that our world so desperately needs. And my friends, I believe that each and every one of you has the potential to be that kind of leader, that kind of catalyst for change. But in order to do that, in order to unlock the full scope of your transformative power, you have to be willing to take control of yourself. You have to be willing to dive deep into the inner workings of your mind, your heart, and your very being. And to cultivate the kind of self-mastery that will empower you to create the life and the world you truly want to see. And let me tell you, it's not going to be easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt and uncertainty along the way. But that's all part of the journey, my friends. That's what makes the ultimate payoff. The sense of empowerment, the deep and abiding sense of purpose, The unshakable confidence and self-belief that comes from truly taking control of your life and using that power to create positive, lasting change, all the more sweet and satisfying. Because when you put in the hard work, when you face down your fears and your doubts and emerge stronger and more resilient on the other side, you know that you've earned your place at the table. You know that you've tapped into a well of inner strength and resilience that can carry you through even the toughest of times. And let me tell you, that kind of self-knowledge, that kind of self-mastery is a gift that keeps on giving. It's not just about the individual transformations that you're able to achieve, the personal goals that you're able to reach. It's about the ripple effect that your actions, your example, your leadership can have on the world around you. Because when you step up and take control of your life, when you become the architect of your own reality and the creator of a better, brighter future, you don't just change your own life. You change the lives of everyone who you touch. You become a beacon of hope, a source of inspiration, a catalyst for the kind of positive, lasting change that the world so desperately needs. And my friends, the world needs more of that. The world needs more people who are willing to take charge, to step up and to show others what's possible when you have the courage, the determination, and the self-control to create the life in the world you truly want to see. So, I ask you again, what are you waiting for? The time is now, the opportunity is here, and the power is in your hands. All you have to do is reach out and grab it, to embrace the power of self-control and use it to transform your reality, to create the kind of life and the kind of world that you've only ever dared to dream of. Because when you do that, my friends, when you take that leap of faith and commit to mastering the inner workings of your mind and your heart, the possibilities are truly limitless. The world becomes your canvas, and you become the artist, the creator, the shaper of your own destiny, and the destiny of all those around you. Imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you were no longer bound by the limitations of your own mindset, your own fears, your own self-doubts. Imagine the kind of impact you could have, the dreams you could bring to life, the lives you could transform if you were operating from a place of total self-mastery. It's a thrilling prospect, isn't it? The idea of stepping into your true power, of tapping into the full force of your potential and using it to create a life and a world that is deeply meaningful, profoundly fulfilling, and truly transformative. And let me tell you, my friends, it's not just a pipe dream. It's not something that's reserved for a lucky few, the chosen ones, the special individuals who are born with some kind of innate advantage. No. The power of self-control, the ability to shape your reality and the reality of the world around you through the mastery of your own thoughts, emotions, and actions is a gift that is available to each and every one of us. All it takes is the courage to step up, to make the commitment, and to do the work required to cultivate that level of self-mastery. So let's do it. Let's dive in. Let's get our hands dirty, and let's start taking control of our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions in a way that's going to transform our lives, our communities, and the world around us. Because when we do that, when we harness the power of self-control and use it to create a kind of future that we want to see, we don't just change our own lives. We change the lives of everyone we touch. We become the kind of leaders, the kind of role models, the kind of shining examples of what's possible when we dare to take charge of our own destinies and the destiny of the world around us. And let me tell you, the world is waiting for that kind of inspiration, that kind of leadership. The world is hungry for people who are willing to step up to take charge and to show others what it means to truly live, to truly thrive, to truly make a difference. So my friends, let's be those people. Let's be the ones who take control of our lives, who master the power of our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions, and use that power to create the kind of future that we want to see. Because when we do that, when we embrace the transformative power of self-control, we will become the change that we wish to see, the leaders that the world is waiting for, the shining examples of what's possible when we dare to take charge of our own destinies and the destiny of all those around us. And as we do that, as we tap into the incredible force of self-control and use it to transform not just our own lives, but the lives of everyone we touch, we start to see the true magnitude of what's possible. We start to understand the profound impact that our choices, our actions, and our self-mastery can have on the world around us. Because when we inspire others to follow in our footsteps, to tap into their own inner reserves of strength and resilience, to take control of their lives in a way that aligns with their highest good, we set off a chain reaction of transformation that can ripple out and touch the lives of countless individuals. Suddenly, it's not just about us and our own personal goals and dreams. It's about the collective transformation of our communities, our societies, our world. It's about using the power of self-control to create a future that is more just, more equitable, more sustainable, and more fulfilling for all. And my friends, that is the kind of legacy that I believe each and every one of you has the potential to leave. Because when you take control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions, when you become the master of your own internal landscape, you unlock the power to become a true agent of change, a visionary, a trailblazer, a leader who has the ability to shape the very fabric of the world around us. So let's get to work, my friends. Let's embrace the power of self-control, and let's use it to create the kind of world that we know deep in our hearts is possible. A world of boundless possibility, limitless potential, and unshakable self-mastery. The future is ours to create, my friends. Let's make it count. My dear friends, we are here to discuss how you can create the life of your dreams. But before we delve into this topic, I want you to understand that what I'm about to share with you is not mere theory or wishful thinking. It is the very foundation of reality itself, the secret of creation that has been hidden in plain sight for millennia. You see, the world you perceive around you, the circumstances of your life, the experiences you encounter daily, all of these are but outpicturings of your own consciousness. Your consciousness is God, the only creative power in the universe. And this God is not some external deity residing in the heavens, but the very I am within you. You are that creative power, the divine imagination which shapes and molds the substance of your reality. Now, I know this might sound fantastical to some of you. You might be thinking, Wayne, if I am this all-powerful creator, why is my life not perfect? Why do I face challenges and hardships? And to that I say, it is because you have not yet fully awakened to your true nature. You have been living in a state of sleep, accepting the world of shadows as reality, forgetting that you are the dreamer who can change the dream at will. Creating the life of your dreams begins with a fundamental shift to your understanding of reality. You must grasp, not intellectually, but knowingly, that your imagination creates reality. Whatever you assume to be true, whatever you feel to be real, whatever you live in your imagination, that is what will be made manifest in your world. This is the law, immutable and inexorable. Let me share with you a simple yet powerful technique to begin shaping your reality. It's called living in the end. To create the life of your dreams, you must first imagine that you already have it. You must enter into the feeling of the wish fulfilled. If your dream is to be wealthy, you must feel the satisfaction and security of wealth. If your dream is to be in a loving relationship, you must feel the love and companionship as if it were already yours. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a scene that would imply your desire is already fulfilled. See it clearly in your mind's eye. Now here's the crucial part. Feel it, feel the joy, the satisfaction, the gratitude of having your desire realized. Make it so real that when you open your eyes, the world around you seems dull in comparison to the vivid reality you've just experienced in your imagination. This, my friends, is the secret of creation. God's name is I Am, and every time you say I Am, you are invoking the creative power of the universe. So be careful with your I Am statements. When you say, I am poor, I am sick, I am unlucky, you are decreeing these states into existence. Instead, align your I Am with your desires. Say, I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am fortunate, and feel the truth of these statements in your imagination. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, I've tried positive thinking before and it didn't work. To that, I say positive thinking alone is not enough. You must combine your thoughts with feeling, with the conviction of reality. Your subconscious mind, which is the creator of your circumstances, does not understand the difference between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience in the outer world. It takes the impressions you offer it, do your imaginal acts, and works faithfully to bring them into your physical reality. Remember, the Bible tells us, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Note that it says in his heart, not just in his mind. This points to the importance of feeling, of emotional intensity in your imaginal acts. Your feeling is your prayer, and that prayer is always answered. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of focusing on your current lack of money or worrying about bills, you would imagine a scene that implies your financial wishes are fulfilled. Perhaps you'd imagine yourself looking at a bank statement with a balance that delights you. See the numbers clearly. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement of having that money. Feel the texture of the paper in your hands. Hear the rustle as you hold it. Smell the crisp scent of the newly printed statement. Engage all your senses to make this imaginal act as vivid and as real as possible. Now, here's where many people falter. They do this exercise once or twice and then go back to their habitual thinking and feeling of lack. But remember, creation is finished. All possible states already exist. Your job is not to create your desire anew, but to occupy the state of its fulfillments so completely that it becomes your new reality. So you must persist in your imaginal act. You must live from the end consistently, persistently, until it hardens into fact. When you lie down to sleep at night, instead of revisiting the worries and frustrations of your day, enter into the scene of your wish fulfilled. Float off to sleep in the consciousness of being the person you want to be, having what you want to have, doing what you want to do. This practice of sleeping in the assumption of the wish fulfilled is incredibly powerful. You see, sleep is a natural form of trance where your conscious, rational mind is subdued and your subconscious is more receptive to impressions. By falling asleep in the state of your wish fulfilled, you are programming your subconscious to align your outer world with this new inner conviction. Now let's address a common concern. Many of you might be wondering, how long would it take for my desire to manifest? And to that I say, time is a construct of your human consciousness. In the realm of creation, there is only the eternal now. Your desire is already fulfilled in what we might call the fourth dimensional reality. Your consistent assumption and feeling of the wish fulfilled is what brings it into your three-dimensional experience. The bridge of incidents that leads to the fulfillment of your desire will form naturally and automatically. You need not concern yourself with the how. Your only task is to persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. The infinite intelligence of your subconscious mind will take care of the how, rearranging people, circumstances, and events to align with your new self-concept. Let me share with you a powerful truth. You are already the person you want to be. You are already living the life of your dreams. It exists now. In the realm of infinite possibilities, your job is to tune into that frequency, to align your consciousness with that reality, and to live from that state consistently. Think of it like this. Imagine a radio with infinite stations. Each station represents a different state of being, a different version of your life. Right now, you might be tuned into the station of lack, or struggle, or unfulfillment. But with a simple twist of the dial, a shift in your consciousness, you can tune into the station where your desires are already fulfilled. This is why it's so crucial to watch your mental diet. The thoughts you consistently think, the inner conversations you habitually entertain, the assumptions you hold about yourself and the world, these are the dial that tunes you into different stations of reality. So guard your mind carefully. Be selective about the thoughts you entertain, the words you speak, the feelings you cultivate. Now, I want to address something that often trips people up on this journey of conscious creation. It's the appearance of things in your outer world that seem to contradict your desire. Remember this, the outer world is a shadow, a reflection of past thoughts and assumptions. When you begin to change your inner world, there might be a time lag before the outer world catches up. During this time, you must not waver in your assumption. If you've imagined financial abundance, but your bank account still shows lack, do not be discouraged. If you've imagined perfect health, but symptoms persist, do not lose faith. These are all shadows lagging behind your new consciousness. They have no power except that which you give them through your attention and belief. Instead of reacting to these shadows, persist in your new assumption. When confronted with contradictory evidence in the outer world, simply say to yourself, "This is an old shadow. It is passing away. I am now wealthy. I am now healthy," and continue to live from the state of your wish fulfilled. This takes practice and persistence. You are breaking lifelong habits of thought and perception. You are overriding years, perhaps decades, of contrary evidence and limiting beliefs. But remember, you are the operating power. You are the one who gives life to your assumptions. As you persist in your new assumption, as you consistently occupy the state of your wish fulfilled, your outer world has no choice but to conform. Let's delve deeper into the nature of your true self, for this understanding is crucial in creating the life of your dreams. You are not your body. You are not your circumstances. You are not your past experiences or future expectations. You are pure awareness, pure consciousness. You are the observer, the perceiver, the I am at the center of all your experiences. This I am is infinite and eternal. It is the God presence within you, the creator of all that is. When you say I am, you're invoking this creative power. And whatever follows I am becomes your reality. This is why it's so important to be mindful of your I am statements. Instead of saying I am tired, say I am energized. Instead of I am broke, say I am abundantly supplied. Instead of I am lonely, say I am deeply loved and connected. And as you make these statements feel their truth, your feeling is your faith, and according to your faith is it done unto you. Now, some of you might be thinking, but Wayne, isn't this lying to myself? These statements don't match my current reality. And to that I say, you are not lying to yourself. You are acknowledging a higher truth. You are aligning yourself with a version of you that already exists in the realm of infinite possibility. Remember, what you see in your outer world is not the truth. It is a shadow, a reflection of your past thoughts and assumptions. By changing your I am statements, by living from the end, you are casting a new shadow. You are tuning into a new frequency of reality. This practice requires a suspension of disbelief. You must be willing to temporarily ignore the evidence of your senses and live as though your desire is already fulfilled. This is what faith is all about. Faith is not belief in spite of evidence, but the evidence of things not seen. Let me share with you a powerful technique to strengthen your faith and accelerate your manifestations. It's called revision. At the end of each day, before you go to sleep, you revisit the events of your day in your imagination, but instead of replaying them as they occurred, revise them. See them playing out in a way that aligns with your desires. If you had a disagreement with someone, replay the scene in your mind, but this time see it resolving harmoniously. If you receive bad news, revise it to good news. If you missed an opportunity, see yourself seizing it successfully. This practice does more than just make you feel better. It actually goes back and changes the seed of those events in your consciousness, which in turn changes their future implications. You see, time is not a straight line as we perceive it in our three-dimensional experience. From the viewpoint of your fourth-dimensional self, all time is simultaneous. The past, present, and future exist now by revising the past in your imagination. You are literally changing the trajectory of your life. This might seem impossible from a logical standpoint, but remember, logic is based on our limited three-dimensional perception. In the realm of consciousness, in the realm of creation, all things are possible. Your imagination is not bound by the constraints of physical reality. In your imagination, you can be, do, or have anything you desire. Now let's address another crucial aspect of creating the life of your dreams, detachment. Many people, when they begin to apply these principles, become anxious and impatient for results. They constantly look for signs that their desire is manifesting. They worry when things don't change immediately. This anxiety and detachment actually push their desire further away. You must learn to detach from the outcome. This doesn't mean you don't care about your desire. It means you are so confident in its fulfillment that you don't need to constantly check for results. You live in the calm assurance that what you have imagined must come to pass. When you plant a seed in the ground, you don't dig it up every day to see if it's growing. You water it, you ensure it gets sunlight, and then you leave it alone, trusting in the natural process of growth. Creating the life of your dreams works the same way. You plant the seed in your subconscious through your imaginal act. You nurture it with your consistent assumption, and then you allow it to grow in its own time and way. This detachment comes from a deep understanding that you are not separate from your desire. You are not trying to get something you lack. You are simply aligning with a version of you that already has what you desire. From this perspective, there's nothing to be anxious about, nothing to doubt, nothing to fear. Let's now explore the concept of states. Every desire you have represents a state of consciousness. If you desire wealth, there is a state of consciousness called wealth. If you desire a loving relationship, there is a state of consciousness called being in a loving relationship. Your job is not to make these states real. They already exist. Your job is to occupy these states in your imagination until they become your reality. You can think of these states as rooms in a grand mansion. Right now, you might be occupying the room of lack or loneliness or ill health, but at any moment you can choose to walk out of that room and into the room of abundance, love, or perfect health. How do you do this? By changing your inner conversation, by altering your mental diet, by living from the assumption that you're already the person you want to be. This is why it's so important to mind your inner talk. Your self-talk is the narrator of your life story. If your inner voice is constantly affirming lack, limitation, and failure, that's the story you'll live out. But when you consciously choose to change your inner dialogue to one of abundance, success, and fulfillment, you begin to shift into those states of consciousness. Now, I want to address something that often comes up when people begin to apply these principles. They worry that by focusing on their own desires, they're being selfish or ignoring the needs of others. But remember this, you cannot give what you do not have. By creating the life of your dreams, by becoming the best version of yourself, you put yourself in a position to help others more effectively. Moreover, as you raise your own consciousness, as you tune into higher frequencies of love, abundance, and joy, you automatically uplift those around you. Your vibration affects everyone you come into contact with by creating the life of your dreams. You're not just serving yourself, you're serving the world. Let's delve deeper into the nature of desire itself. Every desire you have is God's way of telling you what's possible for you. Your desires are not random or meaningless. They are divine impulses, seeds of potential planted in your consciousness by the infinite intelligence of the universe. When you feel a strong desire for something, be it a material possession, a relationship, a career achievement, or a state of being, know that the very existence of that desire is proof of its possibility. The infinite would not plant a desire in your heart without also providing the means for its fulfillment. This understanding should fill you with confidence and excitement. Your desires are not pipe dreams or fantasies. They are previews of coming attractions. They are glimpses of what's possible for you, invitations to expand into greater versions of yourself. So instead of feeling frustrated by unfulfilled desires, be grateful for them. See them as signposts pointing you towards your highest potential. Embrace them as the voice of God within you, calling you towards your greatest life. Now let's address a common misconception about the law of assumption. Some people believe that if they just think positive thoughts, their life will magically transform overnight. While positive thinking is certainly beneficial, it's not the whole picture. The law of assumption goes much deeper than mere positive thinking. When I speak of assuming the state of your wish fulfilled, I'm talking about a complete embodiment of that state. It's not just about thinking you are wealthy, but feeling wealthy, acting wealthy, perceiving the world as a wealthy person would. It's about aligning your entire being, your thoughts, feelings, actions, and perceptions with the version of you that already has what you desire. This level of assumption requires practice and resistance. It's not always easy, especially when your current circumstances seem to contradict your desire. But remember, circumstances don't matter. Only state of consciousness matters. Your state of consciousness is the cause. Circumstances are the effect. So how do you maintain this state of consciousness when the outer world seems to contradict it? The key is to cultivate an unshakable faith in the reality of your imaginal acts. You must become so convinced of the reality of your imagination that the outer world becomes like a shadow in comparison. This faith comes from understanding the true nature of reality. What you see in the outer world is not the truth. It is a projection, a shadow cast by your consciousness. As you change your consciousness, the projection must change. It has no choice. This is law. Let me give you a practical exercise to strengthen your faith and deepen your understanding of this principle. Tonight, before you go to sleep, choose a small, simple desire. Perhaps it's to receive a compliment, or to see a specific type of flower, or to have a pleasant interaction with a stranger. Imagine a scene that implies this desire is fulfilled. See it clearly, feel it is real. Now, as you go about your day tomorrow, watch for the fulfillment of this desire when it comes to pass, and it will recognize it as the result of your imaginal act. This practice of consciously manifesting small desires will build your faith in the creative power of your imagination. As you see these small manifestations occur, you'll gain the confidence to apply this principle to larger desires. Remember, the same law that brings a flower into your experience can bring a fortune. The only difference is in your ability to accept it as possible. As we conclude our discussion on creating the life of your dreams, I want to emphasize that this is not a one-time event, but a continuous process of growth and expansion. Your desires will evolve as you evolve. As you manifest one dream, new dreams will arise. This is the nature of life, a constant expansion, constant becoming. Embrace this journey. See each desire as an opportunity to know yourself more deeply, to express more fully the infinite potential within you. Finally, remember that you are not alone in this journey. The entire universe is conspiring to support your growth and expansion. Trust in the perfect unfolding of your life. Know that as you align your consciousness with your desires, as you live from the state of your wish fulfilled. All of creation moves to bring your dreams into reality. You are the author of your life story. Write it beautifully. Live it fully. And watch in wonder as the life of your dreams unfolds before you. The power is within you. Use it wisely. Use it lovingly and create a life that inspires not only you, but all those around you.